everybody. Talking about iOS 14 here today with Adrian Kingsley-Hughes for ZDNet. All right, Adrian, right out of the gate here, what are we talking about in terms of features, rumors? What are you hearing?
Well, in about 3 weeks, we'll know exactly what's happening when WWDC Virtual Edition happens, because coronavirus has changed everything happening in the world.
Right.
Basically, what I'm seeing with Apple at this point is that there's going to be, it's one of those features where it's one of those times when really what we're going to be seeing is more focus on solidifying the platform and less big outlandish features. And at the end of the day, can we really think about what big outlandish features there are? One of the main things that people wanted in iOS lately was the ability to unlock it if you were wearing a mask. You know, if I'd have gone back a year and said that would be a top feature in iOS, people would be wondering, why would I be thinking that? But here we are, unlocking it while wearing a mask. But what's really interesting in this again is that we're back with Apple releasing a big update, which will come in the fall. And rumors are that it will run on any phone, any iPhone that you currently have that runs iOS 13, which basically means we're going back all the way to iPhone 6, 6S, 6S Plus territory, the old iPhone SE, not the new one. So we're going back 2015, which is ancient history. It's pre-plague, pre-everything else. It feels like so many versions ago, and it is. And I think that that's incredible. Apple is clearly focused on building the ecosystem up, keeping as many old handsets in the system as possible, keeping people in the ecosystem as much as possible. It can still sell iPhones. It doesn't need to be pushing people out deliberately. So that's good news for people. The other good news is on the iPad front. Most iPads that run iPad OS 13, that's a mouthful, will run iPad OS 14. The exception being the old iPad Air 2, and it seems the old iPad Mini 2. So we've got some ones falling off the radar there. But again, we're going back essentially to 2015. Support all the way back that far. Really good as far as Apple's concerned here. Again, I don't think Apple wants to push too many devices away out of the ecosystem, because that would mean a big drop in number of people using, possibly people migrating to cheaper platforms. Who knows? But there's always a bad side, a downside, bad news, as they say. And the bad news is that with every new update, it gets slower, it gets a bit clunkier. You don't get all the new features. But for most people, it's better than spending a few thousand, a few $100. iPads over 1,000, top-end iPhone over 1,000. So Apple is again doing something that the Android ecosystem can't do, supporting stuff for a very, very long time. And as I've said before, quite a few times, I wish Google could emulate this model in some way with Android devices, especially at the low-end priced Android devices, where people can't afford to be dropping hundreds of dollars every few years on a new device. And really, it's shameful that Google allows so many bugs and software issues to build up on Android devices and not really be able to push updates to them.
Yeah, and that is a shame. And Adrian, when we talk about, with people, just because it's cost prohibitive in some situations, but people are finding too, it seems that without huge changes in the phone, that they think, well, you know what, I can hold, if the phone holds up, I can hold on to it longer. And to be able to update it and things, that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is one of the things that Apple seems to be able to do. And this is why Apple devices hold their value so well. A flagship Android handset collapses about maybe 80% of its value in the first couple of years, whereas you're looking at an equivalent iPhone dropping about 20%. It is incredible. There is this, it's no longer just a perceived idea. There is this idea that there is long-term value in Apple products. And it's a shame, again, that we're not seeing that in the Android market, because there are some great Android devices out there. Even down the other day, I had a $60 Android phone, and it's a very good piece of kit. And it's equally a shame that there are no Android tablets of sorts anymore, apart from what Amazon's offering, which again, Amazon can put out a tablet for $90, and it's really good. Whereas the closest iPad, I think, is about $229 for the iPad, $329 for the iPad. So big difference in price from $90 to $329. So
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so. All right. Now, and I think you mentioned this at the beginning, but we are expecting this to be rolled out at, remind me, in a couple of weeks or at the,
We'll see a preview at WWDC during the keynote, and then it'll land in the fall. It usually lands just before the new iPhones drop,
okay.
because so everybody's all updated and ready for it to land. So, but again, we don't know when the iPhones are going to land. Maybe we'll get some kind of heads up from Apple, or maybe not. So maybe Apple's going to keep the schedule a little bit loose because of Corona and how that might affect things and how that might change over the coming months towards
Okay.
winter. Here in the UK, we're already hearing there's restrictions are lifting slowly in the UK. We're already hearing whispers that they might come back in winter. So who knows?
Yeah, a lot of uncertainties right now. So just have to be patient as they try to roll things out. All right. Well, I know you've got much more on iOS 14 and what people need to know there on ZDNet. We hope you guys will check it out. Thanks for watching.